Mandela, Mandela by Nelson Mandela, 1990. In 1948, the nation of South Africa set up a system of apartheid to separate black South Africans from white South Africans. Apartheid denied blacks the right to vote or to live in most parts of South Africa. Apartheid also limited the public places, such as parks or beaches, that black South Africans could visit. During the 1950s, a black lawyer named Nelson Mandela became a leader of the African National Congress, an organization fighting to end apartheid. The South African government arrested Mandela in 1962 and put him in jail. Mandela's courage and dedication to his cause, even when imprisoned, inspired millions to speak out against apartheid. In order to protest apartheid, many nations, including the United States, adopted sanctions that limited trade with South Africa. Finally, on February the 11th, 1990, after 27 years in jail, Nelson Mandela was freed by South Africa's President F.W. de Klerk. On the first day of his freedom, Mandela delivered a speech to his supporters and to the world. As I read excerpts from this speech, notice what type of government Mandela wants for South Africa. In what ways does he hope South Africa will achieve this goal? Mandela, Mandela, aye Africa, my bay, my friends, comrades, and fellow South Africans, I greet you all in the name of peace, democracy, and freedom for all. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Your tireless and heroic sacrifices have made it possible for me to be here today. I therefore place the remaining years of my life in your hands. On this day of my release, I extend my sincere and warmest gratitude to the millions of my compatriots and those in every corner of the globe who have campaigned tirelessly for my release. Today, the majority of South Africans, black and white, recognize that apartheid has no future. It has to be ended by our own decisive mass actions in order to build peace and security. The mass campaigns of defiance and other actions of our organizations and people can only culminate in the establishment of democracy. The harm caused by apartheid on our subcontinent is incalculable. The fabric of family life of millions of my people has been shattered. Millions are homeless and unemployed. The need to unite the people of our country is as important a task now as it always has been. No individual leader is able to take all these enormous tasks on his own. It is our task as leaders to place our views before our organization, the African National Congress, and to allow the democratic structures to decide on the way forward. Today, I wish to report to you that my talks with the government have been aimed at normalizing the political situation in the country. We have not as yet begun discussing the basic demands of the struggle. Negotiations cannot take place. Negotiations cannot take up a place above the heads or behind the backs of our people. It is our belief that the future of our country can only be determined by a body which is democratically elected on a non-racial basis. Our struggle has reached a decisive moment. We call on our people to seize this moment so the process towards democracy is rapid and uninterrupted. We have waited too long for our freedom. We can no longer wait. Now is the time to intensify the struggle on all fronts. We call on our white compatriots to join us in the shaping of a new South Africa. The freedom movement is the political home for you, too. We call on the international community to continue the campaign to isolate the apartheid regime. To lift sanctions now would be to run the risk of aborting the process towards the complete eradication of apartheid. Our march to freedom is irreversible. We must not allow fear to stand in our way. Universal suffrage on a common voters' roll in a united democratic and non-racial South Africa is the only way to peace and racial harmony. In conclusion, I wish to go on my own words during my trial in 1964. They are as true today as they were then. I wrote, "I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination. I have cherished the idea of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. It is an ideal which I hope to live for and to achieve. But if needs be, it is an ideal for which I am prepared to die. My friends, I have no words of eloquence to offer today except to say that the remaining days of my life are in your hands." After his release from prison in 1990, Nelson Mandela continued to fight the system of apartheid. In 1991 and 1992, the South African government ended most of the laws of apartheid. In 1992, white South Africans voted to support negotiations between blacks and whites for the creation of a new constitution that would grant all South Africans the right to vote. This nation of 35 million people, less than 25% of whom are white, faces an uncertain future.